Hi, I'm Asia Sky, and you're probably wondering how I got here. Well, let me explain. I was invited multiple times by this podcast that I had known nothing about. I hadn't even really seen the episodes.
Come on, he just fucking stood up, bro. Like, come on.
I would say 9.
All right. What about you over there? Go.
2.
Okay.
I would give him a 9.
Okay. What is she over there?
I would give him a 10 because he
Okay.
invited me.
All right. So again, you sound like a stupid ass bitch. I'm trying to
Thank
figure
you.
out why you rated me a 2.
And to my surprise, this was nothing that I thought of. From the moment that I walked inside the studio, it was giving me Walmart Freshandfit vibes. Literally, anime like them. They have Pokemon, Freshandfit, have Dragon Ball Z, the whole setup, the everything. I was like, okay, what the fuck is this? Let's see what they're talking about. And anybody on that set, y'all know that we all fucking lied about their ratings, okay? Because that dude was aggressive, belligerent. The last thing that you want to fucking do is give that man anything less than a 4 because he's so fucking fragile. I was sitting right next to him, which made it even more scary. But my mom always told me never argue with an idiot because they will drag you down and beat you with experience. But truthfully, since I'm not within arm's reach of them, I would rate them a 1 and a 2. They're not dudes that I would typically talk to because they act pretty girly and they don't act like real men. So this is dedicated to y'all ugly boys. Here is completely raw, completely unfiltered, and it might even blow your mind. So pay attention. Bitches, always trying to ruin my day. Always talking that little nonsense, hiding behind their cell phone. And because I'm not that argumentative, they think that I'm a pussy. Well, today is your day, bitch. Because I've had enough of your stank attitude. And it's always the ugliest people talking the most shit. You big back bitch. You are a monkey pussy hoe. Your parents must have lots of regrets giving birth to such an ugly fucking face like yours. I understand that there may be lots of trials and tribulations in your life due to the fact that you look busted as fuck. But if you ugly, it will be in your best interest not to have an ugly attitude too. Because if you ugly and have an ugly attitude too, then you too ugly for me to give a fuck. You look like you were raised from the dead. And the only thing that will kiss your face are the maggots that are coming straight from your ass. When I Google your name, your face appears on the top 10 ugliest animals. And you are so ugly that it is offensive to have you in 10 feet range of any public school. Because your face resembles a mixture between a naked mole rat and a hyena, and animals like that are not allowed in public facilities. And if you were that ugly, what gives you the nerve to talk all that shit? Because the best thing an ugly person like yourself should do is be quiet and be happy that you're still living here today. Because in ancient times, a face like yours would be stoned to death because it looks like Quasimodo mixed with a little Chewbacca. Basically, bitch, you look like Bigfoot. And we all know what happens when they finally catch a Bigfoot. They're just too big and scary to have around society. Because a Bigfoot's presence is very, very scary, but it's nowhere near as offensive as your face. And if you just have at least a slight bit better attitude, that might be the only thing going for you. So don't be mad at the beautiful people because they're beautiful. Use that extra anger and energy for good. Because it's already a punishment to look at your face in the mirror every day. I've been told in the past that it's best not to fight with ugly people because they don't have anything to lose. But this is where the abuse has to stop, because I have already been so disrespected from just looking at your forehead. The way it fucking scrunches up and shit when you're upset, it resembles something out of a murder scene. And if looks could kill, you'd be a fucking serial killer. But faces like yours do have some great benefits, like being an anti-theft device. You never have to worry about anyone robbing you when you're that fucking ugly. And you can save lots of money each year from not having to buy a Halloween costume because you were already born with one. I've seen a celebrity that looks like you before, and his name is Smeagol. My precious. When you were a kid, Santa Claus came by your house and said, "Ho ho, holy shit, I gotta get the fuck away from this big back bitch. I only give gifts to children." And I do feel bad for you because when you were a child, you didn't get the same treatment because Santa Claus thought you were an actual gremlin. And gremlins eat elves, and Santa Claus needs his elves. And it's the reason that you hate Christmas, because your presence is enough to put fear into the lives of every living being. And when you're so ugly that you look like an elf eater, even the Grinch would be too afraid to perform any intimate acts with you. Because getting a glimpse of your genitals should be classified as a toxic hazard waste that will blind someone if they look too long. And if the person that you're crushing on had to choose to look at your genitals or die, we would be planning a funeral right now. And if you're struggling with dating because you're too fucking ugly, I do have some great advice for you. Make sure that you sign up for the next blind adult event and just pretend to be blind so that you might fit in. And have a good attitude when you're in there, because if you fuck it up with the blind people, you fuck it up for good. Because a blind person might not know what you look like, but your fucking attitude might be ugly enough to scare them away. And if you follow these simple directions, you too may be able to land this blind date, you Quasimodo, big back, ugly bitch. There are so many ugly motherfuckers in this world, but no one compares to you. You Wolverine, bullfrog, leatherface, elf-eating looking motherfucker. And I believe they should create gremlin-based dating apps for ugly-ass people like yourself. Because bestiality is a horrible crime, and no one will date a person that resembles a blobfish on any other dating app. And if a person is dating you, they can't bring any wild animals to meet their parents. Because if they're even decent people, they're gonna call the cops on their son for dating a cave monster that likes to feast on Santa's elves and cute animals and newborn babies. Because the only sex you'll ever have is phone sex. Because your face looks like Satan's vagina, and your face is fucked. And if you look and smell like the devil's pussy, it would be hell to date you. I understand why you're such a hater, but that doesn't mean that it's okay for you to continue to fuck with people all because you're jealous. Because all of that hatred that you have won't change the fact that your face looks like a rat that just got run over by an 18-wheeler. Yes, bitch, you look like roadkill, and one of your greatest assets is having a good personality. Because your nickname is Oh Shit, and no one should have to live in fear of Santa's elf eater coming to get him. Because you belong in a circus, and your act will be named Chewbacca's Booty Hole Surprise, the most terrifying act of the entire night. An actual devil's vagina, elf-eating, Quasimodo, humpback whale blobfish, dirty butt crack looking beast that belongs on Fear Factor. It is very disturbing for many to see such an ugly face
Come on,
like
he just
yours.
fucking stood up.
And even though you're ugly for life, you have the power to be good and change it all for the rest of your life. So no need to hide behind the internet and post such hateful things, all because you have a Satan pussy face. It's time to fight back and stand up for the ugly nation because you're the president of all the ugly motherfuckers in this world. And I believe that your story must be told, but it's hard for people to take you seriously when you look like an alien asshole farm. Because you so ugly that you belong on a farm, but this farm is out of this world, and having you on an actual farm here on Earth would not be a good idea because you would immediately send all the rest of the farm animals into cardiac arrest. I hope you understand that your good attitude is the only thing going for you, and you would look even better in the trash because you are a direct result of your parents not using protection. And it should be your duty and obligation to protect the world from making more ugly motherfuckers like you, so that no other ugly motherfucker has to be miserable like you. Because a blobfish, demon pussy face like yourself deserves to be free. So let your kindness make up for your ugliness. And if you have a good attitude, you might just get laid by a blind person. So don't let your attitude fuck up your dating experience more than what your face has already done. So that was my plan of action the whole night. Don't be argumentative, get the fuck out, and never come back. And one of the most alarming parts is the fact that they don't even realize how crazy they are. They're so in their own little mindset, they think like that's good to talk to people like that. And that's what's scary. I think both of those hosts actually beat women. Like, seriously, like, how could you think that's normal unless you do this normally? I could just tell this whole podcast was just to feed his ego. That's really what it is. So I fed his ego, I played his game, I got the fuck out, and at the time, the video had less than 2,000 views, so I was a bit relieved, but I had a feeling more people would see it because of the amount of people that saw it and reached out to me and said that they were so pissed off at how those guys treated the women on the panel. After I saw the show, I found out that Eric didn't like Myron and the guys at Freshandfit because they all used to work together. And I found that so interesting because on Eric's Instagram profile, in one of the pin pictures, he has a picture of him wearing one of the Freshandfit podcast hoodies and another picture of him at the Freshandfit studio. Interesting, right? Like these men's podcasts, they're not fucking original. They're all trying to be Kevin Samuels. They're all trying to be the same thing, say the same thing. And it's bad for young men because they think that that's okay to treat people like that. I felt like I was in fucking clown world and I didn't know how to escape. I want to remind y'all that I tried to give them some pretty good advice and they were too fucking dumb to realize what good advice was.
So, I mean, you guys are doing your thing. I would just say keep just saying the right things and educating people in the right way because there's just a lot of podcasts out there that are trying to just make men just be promiscuous. Like that's cool. You can still get herpes from fucking around too much. So I would just say just continue just to say the right things and just educate people in the right way and use what you do for good.
You know, sometimes you sound like you're gonna say something smart. And all you have to do is just I get it. Like you're not ugly. You're not ugly. What's your name? Asia?
Yeah.
Okay. You're not ugly. Like you probably get away with a lot in life because you're not ugly.
Not really, but I
really?
feel that.
And,
Not really.
And you got like a little booty on you, so I'm pretty sure you get away with a lot. Okay.
And the only reason that I said it in that way, because I knew those dudes were fucked. And if I could just give them a little bit of encouragement to do the right thing, is all that I could do, because they're fucked. And yes, that girl, she was the only girl that was honest. He really was it too. Who knows what would have happened if the rest of the girls on the panel would have given them their honest ratings. Yeah, we might not have made it out alive that night. And y'all hit the nail on the head with this, because I literally felt like I was being held hostage. You can see me putting my head down multiple times, praying to God to get me the fuck out of there. I've had people treat me shitty before in the past, but I've never been held fucking hostage like that. I was like, oh shit. At first I was like, maybe they're trolling, but no, these dudes literally just bring girls on there just to fucking disrespect us. And I literally got that. So, you know, I played their fucking game and I watched them project themselves. And I had people watching that podcast and they were just so fucking pissed off at how this dude was just constantly talking to the women in there. And even the other little guy, the little Basil dude, yeah, he said he's like 20 years old or something, talking about, we gotta put these women in their place. Boy, you don't know shit. I saw a comment that says, this guy, Basil, looks like Zaboomafoo, and I fucking lost it. The rating shit was so fucking middle school, and it was so cringe, but as I said, I was around some pretty mentally ill people, and what I've learned about being around people that are mentally challenged, you don't want to be argumentative with them. You're never going to fucking win. You're never going to get out of there. Just chill out. And as I said before, I didn't know anything about Unfiltered podcast until after I got off the show and I saw a few episodes, and then I saw that Eric actually used to work for Freshandfit, and it makes a whole lot of sense. He's just basically one of the dudes that wanted to be Myron, and whatever the fuck happened, he made his own podcast, literally the same setup, and he literally asked me the same fucking question that they asked at Freshandfit.
Okay.
Yes.
What about you? Who is the prize in a romantic relationship between a man and a woman where the relationship is happy?
So this is actually really hard.
Who is the prize in the relationship?
I
The
love
man for the
Oh my
love
relationship.
God,
this
here we
question, man.
go.
Real quick. All right,
Oh.
cool. Who's the prize in a relationship?
I think this is a
Yeah. Well, of course, from the beginning, these dudes were claiming to be original. They were claiming that they were big on respect, and we all knew that that was a fucking lie. So it would be in my best interest to lie about their ratings to save any other drama. So that was my plan of action the whole night. Don't be argumentative, get the fuck out, and never come back.